Then you.
You ain't gotta pause.
I paused because I forgot what I said.
He was trying to get.
Okay. He was like a producer, so he was trying to get some of these young rappers to actually be somewhere. And he's like, if I could just get one, we're set. But she wasn't liking the idea of him coming home late in the night or him having to leave and go travel. So because of that, they actually ended up getting a divorce because they were just in two different places. And he was like, I should have never got married until I get this stuff straightened out.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
But. Go ahead.
Seems like there's more to this story. He hit the studio 2 o'clock in the morning with some ladies in the studio.
No, it's all men actually. So.
But you again too.
He's a pretty straightforward person though. You know he's not a liar. If you meet him, you'll be like, oh.
We would be in the studio till 11, and you know your wife wasn't feeling that. Because you now taking out of her time. And while your wife is supportive. Mm-hmm. Your wife, hands down, probably one of the most supportive wives I've ever seen in all my days. Because every piece of equipment that he's ever needed for his studio, she come through. Anything she needed, he got. And she still was feeling some type of way. Why? Because she wasn't getting her time.
Yeah.
If he was a single man, it would be a lot easier for him to just, you know what I'm saying? Because who cares? Ain't nobody checking for you. I could be in the studio at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right? I'll call you back. I can help, but ain't nobody blowing up my spot. Where you at? Who you with? Is it? And then if you, I don't care what woman, if you hear too much laughter going on, if I call you too much laughter going on in that studio, I'm showing up.
Like, oh, what's so funny? I'm
showing up in the robe with the bonnet.
But was he doing?
Laughing at?
But was he doing all that studio stuff while they were dating and stuff too?
Yeah. But that doesn't change the fact now you my husband and I want my husband home.
But the thing is, if she didn't give him that expectation,
exactly, she never set the expectation.
Who's to say she didn't?
I wish I didn't go that deep. But
then if she did, then it's his fault.
That's what I'm saying, because if she was doing the same thing before they got married, then he knew that was going to be an issue when they got married. That's one of them things where you're just not paying attention.
I feel like, but even in paying attention, like I said, you of all people know that it can still pose a problem.
If she got a problem, just bring her to the studio with you. And she'll come a couple times and she'll be like, man, this is boring. She'll stay at home then.
That is not even about
she'll stay at home then, I'm telling you.
But it ain't even about her staying at home. It's about that time that she's not getting with her husband. Because you may not even have a spouse that's male or female. You may not even have a spouse that's jealous. But just if you're dedicated, doing too much of anything, I don't care if it's the church. That can be problematic. There are certain things you can do as a single man for the church. You can go to every conference, you can go to every work day, you can go to every youth night, and it'll make no difference. As soon as you get married, cause Jesus get date night every day of the week. I'm trying to figure out what mine is. It doesn't matter what it is. There are certain things that you can do while you're single that you can't do while you're married. That's period.
I didn't say there wasn't.
So in terms of goals, there may be certain, if it was a studio, there's a certain place you want to take your studio. If it's education, there's a certain place you want to get in your education. If it's the church, there's certain places you want to take your ministry.
And those are conversations that you would have before you pop the question, or these are topics that would come up in discussion before you would pop the question.
You would think, but not every couple thinks the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Even if you have a conversation, even if you have a conversation about it, when I'm in the situation and you are now my husband, and I know
that's why I said before you ask to get married, you have these conversations. And if she got a problem with it before you get married, she really gonna have a problem with it when you get married.
Did your wife have a problem with it before you were married?
Have a problem with what?
You being busy all the time.
Yes.
Does she have a problem with it now?
Yes.
Okay then. So what are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Some things they're always gonna be. I'm saying like you just gotta learn. But I learned how to balance it better, because back then I wasn't balancing it at all. I was just doing
the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, if he would spend, so say he would dedicate, he would have a discussion with his wife and be like, okay, on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I'm gonna stay at the studio till 2 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, me and you will hang out. Or every other week on these days, or give her a schedule or something that she'll know, and give her some time in there, because like you said, you gotta put some in the bank, so when you can go to withdraw something, Like when you gotta spend that 2 o'clock in the studio. She remember we went to dinner like 2 nights ago and we hung out all night. We went to a movie and everything, so she won't give you that much.
Yeah, how many conversations you have? 2 o'clock in the morning don't look good on nobody else.
It don't, but and that's why I say, that's why I was asking, like, cause you know, especially if you're in the studio with like, depending on what kind of music he's doing.
Yeah.
And you got these dudes in here, they might be partying, they might have some females in there.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. Like it was more the environment than the job that he was doing, because if you're in an environment long enough, something's bound to go down.
But even not the environment, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about period. Because like I said, even being at church too long, being accessible to, you know what I'm saying, the church too much.
And that goes back to balancing your time.
I think it's about balancing. I think it's about communication. And in no way am I saying you can't complete all of your goals that you have while you're married. Y'all a unit, y'all a force, y'all can do anything y'all put y'all mind to, especially if y'all effectively communicate. But what I am saying is, as a single person, you do what you do.
We just live in a time period where a lot of people are selfish and they want to do what they want to do on their time. And especially when they're in relationships, they don't understand that sometimes you got to sacrifice some things to get to some things. And that's why, like, a lot of people when they get married, it's just like, why would I put up with this fight when I could just go get a divorce and go do whatever I want to do? And they see that as the easy route, and most of the time they do that after they have kids and stuff, and now the kids got to deal with all that.
No, I'm doing that before we have kids. Because after we have kids, now I'm stuck. I'm not gonna do this to my children.
But I'm just saying, like, you gotta be mindful of them things, like, cause, like, that's why it's important. Like, if you have goals, you want to make sure that you don't put, like, if you don't have no kids, it's a little bit easier to do those types of things if you have goals, because while we'll still be going for our goals, if you put a child in there, children got to be cared for all the time. Someone gonna have to give up what they want going on to go take care of this child, because all daycare is closed at 6 o'clock.
I'm over here like I'm about to throw some shade on somebody.
I'm just saying though. I'm just saying.
Don't say nothing. But
I'm just saying, because you know.
I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm like, don't you have a child? Okay.
Oh wow.
It's true though. I mean, because a lot of times people, when they have kids, they don't really have these discussions and talk about stuff like this, because it's important to get your goals accomplished before you have kids, because if you keep adding to the load, your time just keeps getting sucked up from everything.
Ooh, there's something I know that's like that. She has a child and she's just over here living her life. I'm like, don't you have a son, Mom?
Wow.
Sorry.
All your friends breaking up with you after this.
Right.
No, she's not my friend. Joke's on you. She's an acquaintance.
You know that?
Oh Lord, don't know who you talking about.
I
I think I know who you talking to.
it's somebody from my school.
Oh, from your school. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I thought you were talking. Never mind. We're not gonna go there.
Y'all, I was high-key trying to get him to whisper on Cal.
Yeah.
Who you was?
But relationships will work, man. Like, don't get in no relationship if you don't do no work.
I'm getting no relationship.
And that's why don't get in no relationship if you don't do no work. It's point blank period. If you don't do no work, and if you don't want to sacrifice your time and sacrifice your feelings and your emotions, don't get in no relationship.
I'm getting no relationship.
I was talking to someone today. I say this all the time. If you don't learn to deal with your emotions and your past, and you let it keep you in a chokehold, you end up projecting that onto everyone around you, especially the one that's closest to you. And it's just like, if you know emotionally you're not ready, why would you put someone else in that situation? Why would you imprison them with you? You knew before you started this relationship you weren't ready to be completely vulnerable, and you weren't ready to let go of all of the pain that you had from the past, and use that to, use it as a learning tool to to help you in the future and help you better deal with people. I hear people say stuff all the time like, oh, how people treated me in the past, this, that, and the third, and I'm just like, well, why not take this hurt and use it as a way? Now I know how not to treat people. Now I know what I shouldn't do to people, because I didn't like it when it was done to me, but it baffles me. It's just like, so you can use the pain to fuel your rage, but not to heal, the people around you.
It's how you're brought up and how you're grown up in the world that we live in. You're taught an eye for an eye. If someone do something to me, let me do it to them. and then it gets to a point to where
That's a terrible way of thought. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
exactly that's what I'm saying. But you have people like it's like, oh, these people hurt me, so I'm gonna go ahead and hurt these people too, so they know how I felt. But you didn't like the way you felt, so why you want somebody else to feel that way? That's why it don't make no sense. It's just like what? But you know, hey, you gotta let people be great sometimes, man. You gotta let people be great.
Terrible.
Yeah, because because I had a whole bunch of stuff that I needed to deal with when, you know what I'm saying, when I was on my own terms and stuff. So I had to deal with them things on my own before I was able to pull somebody else in with me. When my wife was trying to get with me before I said, I am not the person to go out with right now because I ain't got nothing for you. Nothing.
At least you're honest.
I got nothing for you because my eyes are still looking everywhere. I ain't got nothing for you. I don't. Because I honestly knew, because I take relationships serious. So when you get in a relationship, you should get in this relationship knowing that you're not going to do anything to humiliate the person that you're with or to do anything to hurt that person.
That's the thing. Too many people are afraid to be by themselves. So you just leave a trail of broken hearts. And it's just like, one of my biggest pet peeves is people that don't take responsibility and aren't accountable for their actions. It's just like, it can't always be the other person. It can't always be the other person. There needs to be some sort of self-reflection going on. Like, you done had 12 breakups in 12 months. It might not have
None of them.
You have 4 boyfriends on your Instagram in 1 year. Scroll through and see every boyfriend for the year.
That's rough.
My bad, y'all. It's garbage day.
Oh, wow.
I have an alarm set. I apologize.
Super.
What garbage day?
You don't know my family.
It's
it's your turn.
It's
Unfortunately.
Oh, I thought she meant it's garbage day. Like, this is the day where everybody hit her up and she don't want to go.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
I would use it.
I thought that too. I thought it was some dude she was like. I don't know.
Just my bad, y'all.
That's why I ask
I
questions.
don't know why they keep calling me.
But yeah, man, don't pull people into your baggage, man. If you got issues that you need to deal with them on your own time. Read you a couple self-help books.
Even if you don't have problems you need to deal with,
Wow.
you should. What?
Wow.
It turned off.
Even if you don't have problems you need to deal with. What?
That's not me. We were supposed to be playing gangster rap and we wanna. Gangster Jesus
What
rap.
about
Jesus gangster rap. Man.
I'm mad that you said what in the same frequency. What?
What?
It's a kid what?
Yeah, what?
Outstanding. Okay. Even if what? Even if you don't have problems you need to deal with, we should all be trying to
Better yourself.
better ourselves, reading self-help books. There's this book I got called The Art of
Bible?
Why. Oh, there's the Bible. Outstanding. Right?
The Bible.
Bible. Basic instructions
In
before leaving
addition
Earth.
to the Bible there.
That's dope.
Really?
You
You
ever
never
heard
heard
that
that? No.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. It doesn't know.
Wow. Oh, she didn't get one? She did.
I'm a guest.
She's gonna play the guest card.
What are your thoughts on entering into relationships prematurely?
I agree. I always say wait until you yourself are whole before you actually get into a relationship. If not, it's not a good idea. Because now, if you don't even fully love yourself, you're going to start having a whole bunch of unnecessary arguments because you're very insecure. And that's not a good idea. So yeah,
It's not.
it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
So you from England and you from what?
I like
Puerto
them.
Rico.
Yeah, you know.
Hey,
From San
my
Juan.
San Juan.
San Juan.
San Juan. And you ain't you Dominican? Yeah, I heard her speak
She's not
Spanish.
Dominican.
She spoke like
Dominica.
Dominican.
she
Well, there
yeah
is a place called
And-
Dominica. Yeah.
and something else. What else you
My
got?
whole family's from the Caribbean. I normally just tell people that.
Okay, she got every island, so she just.
She West Indian.
What going
Yeah.
on?
Hey.
I heard her speak Spanish once, and I was just like,
You
I thought you was black.
Why do you think everybody black? She always looking at people like, oh yeah, I forgot you're not black. Like what? I always think, why do you think everybody black?
Because they get a little too comfortable. I'm like, wait, what? You ain't black.
Any shade of any color, Julissa think you black.
You ain't black.
We be hanging with a whole group of Spanish people and they'll say something in Spanish.
And let me
And
tell-
she'll, I thought you ain't black. Like, what? I forget you
Let me
Spanish.
tell y'all, I met Brianna. So she came, when she came in the law firm, she is very prim and
That's
polished. Cali, sorry. She was very prim and polished and like looked like she was about her business. It's almost intimidating because she pulled up in like this fly spaceship and I pulled up in the hoopty. And she had she had the heels, yeah, but it's gray and it, you know, shaped like a spaceship. She had the heels on and she was clunking through the halls, stale face, like she was serving.
Clunking like she can't walk in them?
No.
Oh, we know some people that can't walk in here.
There was a cadence. Don't do that.
What do you mean? You ain't never seen nobody that can't walk in here?
Anyway, she had the stale face.
Extra high. You're like, ooh, you know that's gonna hurt. She gonna get the walking 5, 4. There it is. Sorry.
I'm just saying.
Sorry.
We've all seen people that can't walk in here.
She can walk in here.
Okay, you just said she was clunking, so I thought
No,
she was
like it was a cadence, like da da da.
What? What?
So listen, she was talking to the boss like they was best friends, and I'm just like, she might be police. So then when they moved her, they
What you
moved
call police?
Hey, I don't know. She might be 5'0". You was a little bit too buddy with the.
Kept your eye on her.
Hey, side eye. I'm
You're right, though. You're right. What do you mean?
But they sat her next to me and my homeboy, and we was just like, I don't know about you.
Shout out to John.
So they was gonna move her to the front, and white girl Caitlin. That's not racist. Her name's white girl Caitlin. So
Her name is not white girl. Her name is not white
her
girl.
name white girl Caitlin. White girl
Find
Caitlin.
that name like it's all regular.
It is, no, that's
That's
white
her
girl
name.
Caitlin. That's not racist. That's her name. So
That's
she
totally
used
racist.
to
That's what
I
her
am.
birth certificate say?
No, the doc. White girl?
White girl
White girl
Caitlin.
It's not racist. That's her name. Y'all trying to be anyway.
What if she called the black girl Julissa?
She
Okay.
You see her face?
What?
What do you mean, black girl Julissa?
Well, her name transformed from Caucasian Katie to white girl Caitlin. And she will answer the phone. This Caucasian Katie. She
You were
does it.
racist. Didn't you call John Pinto Beans?
Wow.
He called me
Wow.
watermelon and fried chicken speed. Don't do that. All of us said some stuff that was inappropriate.
Racial slurs all up in there.
He called me
See,
Shaniqua.
that made I was
I called him Platano Power. Platano Power. And he would be like, fried chicken speed. What? How did we get here? First of all,
You said white girl Caitlin.
And you're racist.
You are racist,
First of all,
bro.
I believe everybody that has a little bit of prejudice in them, then that's it. That's just
Prejudice to
everybody.
people.
But
My girl is pinto bean power.
no.
Platano power.
Platano Power. Oh, he can call me fried chicken speed and Shaniqua, but I can't call him Platano Power.
So all y'all just racist?
I don't know who started it. By the time I moved over there, those names were just being thrown, and I'm just here like, this isn't right.
Exactly. Like,
I would call him Juan de la Rosa. Remember? Oh, I told the new girl that his name was Juan Diego. And so he would come over and she would just be like, Juan. And then she kept hearing us call him Diego because we would never call him John. We would always call him Diego. So she like thought that was his name. She said an I am to one of the bosses talking about Diego, and they was just like, she really did. That's neither here nor there. So listen.
wow, that's a.
The girl used to send us a 7 every time the boss was coming because the receptionist desk, like one of them is right outside the boss office. So we ain't supposed to be on our cell phones, but you know, I'm strolling.
We
So
know
you ain't
all
never
you
worked
do-
there in your life?
Never.
I I don't feel I should have
When
to.
she worked at T-Mobile, she slept the whole time.
I ain't working T-Mobile. That was first of all, that was Viewer Zone. Second of all, they didn't pay me enough.
One
One touch.
touch.
They didn't pay me enough to get my
All
services.
hood call center.
Exactly. That's why I used to
That
go
worked
to
out.
sleep. You know what? I'm professional with it. I am the best like sleep worker because I would be knocked out. I'm talking about snoring. As soon as I heard that beep beep beep. Thank you for calling Verizon, Julissa speaking. Verizon.
Dang.
Just as professional, and then go right back to sleep. My coworkers thought it was amazing.
You have
They
issues.
went all.
She
That's
does.
where I met Caucasian Katie actually.
Oh.
We worked for Beavers on together. All right, so
That is talent.
what? It is
Being
talent.
able to just wake up, I'd be like,
I get right there. I gotta get this money because I had to be good enough for them not to fire me, but like bad enough to just not do nothing. You just got to
It's a balance.
toe the line. It was a balance. I was late every single day. We're not talking about me.
Gosh, you're a terrible employee.
Sometimes.
She's a terrible person. She's racist. She's late. She sleeps at her job.
late.
She scrolls through Instagram on every
her job.
What about what you do? This man was working for the Walmart. He literally gave me. I went. No, I can't say that.
Exactly.
But just know, I'm not the only bad employee.
I was
And
working, though. I was working.
He was literally on the clock and came to a whole meeting at the church for 2.5 hours. On these people
I
clock.
mean, they can't do nothing to them now because
No, they was.
Yeah.
I was finna incriminate us. But
Yes, it
don't incriminate me. I am not a criminal. I don't.
we have since been redeemed.
Her resume is flawless.
I'm flawless. Of course, on paper, I am flawless. Now, after you hire me, don't know what to tell you. And you know, but she know I'm a boss worker. Let me tell you, the master of finesse. Because yes, I was a horrible employee, but my boss loved me. I used to go sit in her office for like 2.5 hours just talking to her about her dog, about her life, about a whole bunch of stuff I ain't really care about too much.
That's that finesse in her.
And then go back to my desk and clock out for break.
Finesse.
She used to sit right there. She'll be like, so I'm in there laughing, and she just look at her watch and then look at me and just.
I am John, like, she's still in there. And John's like, hey.
And guess what I'd be doing the whole time? I know. What? First he said yes, then he said no, then I said whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Big words.
You know what? I'm charming and I'm great, and you're mad about it.
She is a finesser.
Like, for real, you did finesse. All those other meetings would be like 2 minutes, 5 minutes tops if they get in trouble and they get a write-up. And I'll be like, oh, someone got a write-up. No, never mind. But when you were in there, that would be 45. I think the longest you ever been in there was probably 1 hour and 15 minutes, if I'm correct.
Why are you clocking me?
Because I was mad. Because no one was in the queue, and I'm getting calls left and right, and Dave's like, you want to take a call? I'm like, no, I want to take a call. You told me I'm an administrator, okay? Don't play with me. She'll go on the call list, and someone will get to her eventually.
Go get her out that office laughing to answer these calls.
I'm literally, is she in?
Better than me, because I would pull out the office.
Right. Be like,
I
But they're amazing, though.
I'm
You
like,
couldn't even
this
hate.
whole-
You just had to be in there like, you go, girl. If you can
Nah.
do
Do
it.
you see that was black
I'd have been like-
at its finest?
I'd have been like, please hold.
Black
Excuse me, there's some calls out here waiting for some people.
Black excellence. Black excellence. That's exactly what it was. Because none of them other people could finesse like that. But that was my dog. We were having actually
Other people?
good conversation. Nobody else. Nobody. Black, white, Hispanic. I don't care what color it was. It didn't matter. You couldn't do it like that.
She did favor you, though. Because there were plenty of people that were late probably like once.
She was late every day.
You were late like consistently 5 to 10 minutes at least late every day. People would come
She'd
in
be on
late
Snapchat
the
late.
third time.
Late
And it's
again.
like, right up. And
Late
yours was
again.
like 20 times. And they're like, she's fine.
Changed her schedule and she was still late.
Okay.
Changed my G schedule for her still to come late every day to work.
I don't get it. Okay, because it was 8:30 and that was too early. Then they changed it to 9. Then they cut it back to 3 days a week. I was still late. I just didn't like driving all the way. But I liked the people. I liked my boss. She was cool. I just.
My girl be riding that cross town with no sun pass.
Let me know when she get a bill.
Them charges, how much them charges was?
Like $150.
Oh my
$340 for your information.
$340. $340.
I thought I wasn't gonna pay. I slick thought I wasn't gonna pay them. I was just like, gotcha, suckers.
Gonna renew that tag.
Ma'am, that'll be $583.
Ooh, that gave me indigestion.
Yep, because you can't renew that tag if you didn't pay the
I'm
tolls.
just like,
What you gonna say, no?
Y'all got payment.
I'm paying. That's payment.
Okay, so as you can see,
Yeah, I
this
can see
class
that.
has gone off the rails. So we're gonna go ahead and adjourn this class.
It don't matter, okay? Because all y'all sitting here judging me,
Yep.
and ain't none of y'all exemplary employees either, okay?
Excuse me.
I was flawless.
So was I.
No, you weren't.
Yes,
I
I was.
was a
You was
wonderful
over there
employee.
listening
Bruh,
to trap music.
Because I
am-
finished all my work. And
I am an
had
exemplary employee also. I scored a 99 on my store test for my department, the highest department score in the store.
Yeah, we talking about how regularly I was, but check my resume though. I was a boss. And first of all, you can't get away with stuff like that if you're not a boss employee. So
That's true.
my numbers speak for themselves.
I wasn't late.
Some people gave them quantity, I gave them quality. Lies I didn't.
I hear you.
Where's the lie?
You did.
Oh, okay. And because I gave them quality, they wanted to pick my brain. They wanted my ideas. What should we do, girlfriend?
Boo.
So I was great, and I am great. I just, because you think I'm great.
You're so nice. I would have told them nothing. Any ideas? No.
Well, but then I got paid to do nothing, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all can have this and better y'all company. I'm not doing this for the rest of my life anyway. Because when I leave, forget your cue, and forget all this. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
As she just said,
First of all, you can't. You timed out and you went back and you trying to end it with 30 seconds. What I'm gonna do? Put a little transition and then we talk for 30 seconds and then it go to the music. You ain't never did nothing. Anyway,
Wow.
it's time for me to get another dose of this flu medicine. I'm gonna sleep good tonight because
Make sure you wake up tomorrow.
I'm gonna take this nighttime. If Jehovah don't wake me up, that's his business. I'm gonna take this nighttime medicine. And
I'm just call the people and be like, there's a body in my house.
oh, so I'm a body.
There's a
in your house. Like my name ain't on this list. Cali, what?
Sorry. I tried to hold it and it didn't work. My apologies.
Y'all ain't got no friends. Y'all ain't got no friends. Don't nobody love you but your mama, and even sometimes she questioned it. So just remember that.
she questioned
And
her or you questioned her?
You'll do great in life. She questioned whether or not she loved you. I said what I said. I feel like somebody in this room want to fight me.
I think that's the cough medicine.
I think it is too.
Cause we can get it.
Are you mad that it's wearing off?
So you trying to say I've been high this whole time?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it. I feel like I've been adorable.
Adorable.
Okay, class adjourned. Get I want all y'all at my house and that's it. I live here. Oh, you can leave too. Oh, I want y'all to go. Anyway, that's it. That's it. They're gonna upset me. That's it.
My apologies. I'm sorry.
Because I missed the joke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it ain't
How much do you got left?
She ain't drink no. I'm drinking tea forever.
Been drinking the tea for 40 minutes. It's cold.
Ew.
Did you even eat your little
No.
bite?
No, the disrespect is blatant, and I'm not gonna stand for it. Y'all do what y'all want to do, I can't.
Not this way.
These don't even taste like nothing.
I know.
No, why you keep
You
eating
sick.
food you can't taste it?
That's why people
That's
eat
the
when they
worst
sick.
part is when you eat something you can't taste it.
This is exactly why I don't understand why she got this strawberry shortcake in the fridge. She's not gonna be able to drink it.
And yes, a biz.
I'm gonna take it with me anyway.
And though you die.
You ever seen a movie called Trippin'?
No.
She sound like the dude off the movie.
You gonna turn the camera off?